Kia ora guys, welcome back to the Black Jersey. It is freezing cold over here. My name's Max, I'm the host of this channel. I am awake at 4 AM to discuss the All Blacks and Los Pumas lineups for this weekend's game. Well guys, I am not impressed with what the All Blacks have selected, so we're going to have a bit of a chat about that. But before we do so, I want to say a big thank you to my patrons who always make these videos possible. Cheers guys. First off, the front row, Ethan de Groot, Tyrell Lomax. At least there's a bit of consistency, but they've gone for Dane Coles, I guess, to see how he can go in a bit of an experiment in the spine, which is a rather odd decision. Cody Taylor, he's coming off the bench with Offa-Tu'ungafasi and Nepo Laulala. Those guys are getting a little bit lucky after the regular season Super Rugby form, though they started to get to a bit more of a peak later on in the season. I'm gutted though, because I feel like this is a really just annoying missed opportunity to bludge Tamaiti Williams into the system, so that's a bit of a pain to me. Over at lock though, Scott Barrett, no problems. I kind of had this feeling he was going to start at lock to let Shannon Frizzell get a go at 6, and Josh Lord is starting in the number 5 jersey, just his third test cap. He will get to start. I've had Lord on the channel before, and it's been so nice to see his return from injury go the way that it deserved to go. The guy's a hard worker, and if there are injuries for the World Cup, this guy is going to be the next cab off the rank. Shannon Frizzell, who I mentioned before, well, they are all in on a third lock at 6. They are indeed all in on that, because Sam Cane once again is the captain. Ardie Savia is the number 8. As I've repeatedly told people, those guys are the first 2 names on Ian Foster's team sheets, and those who think otherwise and that we can field an actual blindside, they're just coping at this point. Frizzell is hopefully going to have a good game, with Tupou Va'i backing him up though. It's going to be quite interesting to see if Va'i gets minutes at 6, or if they're going to move Scott Barrett there later on in a bit of a foreshadowing to Scott Robertson's tenure, where Barrett's inevitably going to move to 6 during games when Lord comes off the bench. Dalton Papali'i also on the bench. I don't have any problems with that. Pretty good stuff, but the chopping and changing of the All Black spine under Ian Foster so far this year, before a game's even been played, has really bothered me so far. First off, Hoskins Sotutu did not deserve to be dropped. You can say the same with Brad Weber, but at least he is captain of the All Blacks 15. Aaron Smith, though, is teaming up with Damian McKenzie. It's all well and good to have that combination building ahead of the World Cup and putting people with those they aren't quite too experienced with, but you know, Damian McKenzie in over Richie Mo'unga for the first test of the year, I do think is a bit of a dodgy call. Finlay Christie's the reserve halfback to back Smith up. Fair enough, Smith is going to start, but I'm also pretty peeved that they've missed an opportunity to blood Cam Roigard and Sami Penny-Finau, who I really hope can both get game time. McKenzie, as I mentioned before, he did play well for the Chiefs and stuff throughout the season, but I'd have preferred if they were to put him at 15, get him used to Mo'unga, because overall, him and Beauden Barrett have been playing test rugby with each other for a long time. McKenzie hasn't quite had the experience with Mo'unga though. The outside backs though, well guys, they were always going to be fairly obvious. Lester Fainga'a-Anuku and Will Jordan didn't travel due to Jordan having migraines and Fainga'a-Anuku having a sore calf. Well, Mark Talia has just started to train again after a knee injury, so it was pretty obvious to see Amoni Narua getting named for a debut. Yes, I was definitely the guy who probably either started or got early onto the bandwagon of Narua being an All Black. I'm really stoked to see Narua is getting in there. The midfield, on the other hand, Geordie Barrett and Rieko Ioane, well, as much as I would have liked to see another 12, there wasn't really much other choice because David Havili's injured, Anton Leonard-Brown suspended, Dallas McLeod has a concussion, Geordie Barrett's the only choice, and you know what, if Barrett does want to move to 12 and stuff, if he does want to be Havili's backup option, you just got to keep repeatedly playing him with Ioane, and hopefully he'll get some game time with Braden Ennor, who is also on the bench. Beauden Barrett at fullback, as I mentioned before, I would have preferred to see Mo'unga and McKenzie combining together. Anyway guys, we're in the halftime stage of this video, and for my South African audience living in New Zealand and just Kiwis in general, I have a really good announcement to make to you guys. NZ Biltong, really awesome people with delicious food. They are sponsoring today's video. I've teamed up with them with the hopes to send a winner to the Bledisloe Cup test in Dunedin at Forsyth Bar Stadium. You're going to win a really nice bottle opener, 2 of these for you and your mate. Beer cooler, 2 of these for you and your mate. And of course, you and your mate get 2 tickets. Please see the T's and C's though for this giveaway. They do very strictly apply. But yes, make sure you enter the giveaway over on Instagram. The link to my Instagram, it is in the description, and so is the website of NZ Biltong, the guys who make this absolutely delicious food. Seriously, this is so good. Amazing stuff. Go see the description. Now, guys, we get over to discussing Los Pumas. It's a relatively settled looking side apart from 2 unusual changes I think that have happened to the starting 15. We'll jump into the front row, of course. Tomas Gaijo, great selection. Julian Montoya is captain, great selection. And Lucio Sordoni, who hasn't played a test since 2020, he is coming back. He's getting a reprieve after a long time out of injury, so really good to see Sordoni's getting a chance under Michael Cheika, as Cheika had yet to give him any minutes. The locks, Matias Alemano has played the most minutes at number 4 throughout the 2020s, and Cheika has favoured him very much, so good to see that he's in there with Petty starting to age a little bit. Tomas Lavanini, though, let's just make sure we bet that $10 on him getting a yellow card. Anyway, a very interesting other feature of the Los Pumas lineup is that they have gone for 2 open side flankers. They've been a little bit naughty, a bit reliant on the fact that everyone in the pack can jackal, and so they've named a couple of blind side flankers at the same time throughout this World Cup cycle, and now they're using both Pablo Matera, the vice captain, and Juan Martin Gonzalez, their most promising young player, together as dual open sides. Rodrigo Bruni, who's normally one of Matera's backups over at number 8, he gets the start. I've rated him since his test debut. I don't have any problems there. It's a pretty deadly looking pack that's going to win a lot of turnovers, that is for sure. The bench though, I'm sorry about the autocorrect for Maiko Vivas' name. I rate him highly. Goodness me, autocorrect, why did you have to do that to me? Vivas will add a lot of impact, as will Eduardo Bio. I hope I'm saying his name correctly there. I don't speak Spanish. Please correct me on pronunciation so I get some of them wrong. Augustine Creevy, he's playing his 98th test for Los Pumas. If he plays every game in the Rugby Championship, he will be the first Puma to play 100 tests. I cannot think of anybody more deserving than Augustine Creevy for such a milestone. Over to the backs. Well, Gonzalo Bertranu, Santiago Carreras, Ian Foster really could have learned a thing or two about that, because Montoya, Bertranu and Carreras all teaming up again in the spine, repeated selections, that's how it needs to be done. Mateo Carreras, who isn't related to Santiago, is on the left wing, and Bautista Delgui is on the right wing. 2 excellent wingers, I'm so happy to see them there, but a very odd selection is that Lucio Cinti has played all of his minutes so far this World Cup cycle at 13 and on the wing, and yet now he is starting at 12 in the place of Geronimo Della Fuente for some really odd reason. Matthias Moroni, good selection to see him there at 13, but I am very, very confused as to why Lucio Cinti is in the number 12 jersey. Someone explain this down to me below. Was De La Fuente injured by any chance? Anyway, Juan Cruz Malia is missing the test and Emiliano Buffelli's at fullback. Good idea. Buffelli's versatility is very useful and I love him for that reason. He'll definitely be coming along to kick the goals as well. The reserve backs, Lautaro Bazan. After a few injuries over at halfback, it's good to see him getting another chance, as minutes for him have been a little scarce. Nicolas Sanchez, though, their highest point scorer of all time after the breakout year of 2022 for Santiago Carreras, after he made a successful transition from fullback and into first 5, Sanchez has been put on the bench again. This is pretty crazy, so hopefully everything's going to go well and Sanchez might replace a winger, Buffelli moves to wing, Carreras goes to fullback or something. It'll be very interesting to see how exactly this is executed. Matias Orlando, the impact man, so happy to see him there. So Los Pumas, I'm really happy with this team, and I've got a feeling that they could take out this game by 10 points. I don't know if I'm overtired or something from the lack of sleep, but you guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comments now that we've finished off this wee match preview for round 1 of the Rugby Championship. That's my prediction, a 10-point win for Los Pumas. You can check check me out over on Instagram to see the giveaway that I'm doing with NZ Biltong. Delicious stuff. Make sure to enter the giveaway and everything like that. Definitely check me out on Threads as well, the new app that I've joined, starting to get a bit of a following there. And yeah guys, one more time, thanks so much for watching this video. Cheers from Max.